March 25th, 2020. This is Jack Tuckner. We're still in the midst of a coronavirus pandemic growing. New York is closed. Most of us are. I'm social distancing from my closet, you can see. So I thought I would try to combine in my cabin fever world of not leaving my home, a little exercise with making a video. Today, I spent the day writing a memo for an employer about furloughing employees and what the law says about it. And really, the problem is, and it was sort of depressing getting into all of it, because companies are letting people go. Companies are contracting right now, no surprise. And there really isn't much in the way of protections from that happening in an economic downturn. The Fair Labor Standards Act allows employers to dismiss, terminate, furlough so-called non-exempt employees, by the way, even who are working on an hourly basis. If you're not working, you don't need to be paid, and even salaried so-called exempt employees who have a salary above a certain level. In New York, it's $58,500 per year, and work in administrative, management, executive, professional jobs. They could still be laid off prospectively, furloughed, terminated. There really isn't any particular protection when a company is saying right now in this downturn, we are not replacing you. We can't really afford this. I'm sorry, we can't do it. So either apply for unemployment, and there's some work sharing arrangements where you could still maintain your medical benefits and be paid partially by your employer if your company elects to do it, and partially by, in New York, the Department of Labor. But it's a voluntary thing, and it's still not your full salary. And so unless you are a tenured teacher, great for you, or you're a municipal employee, federal, state, or local, and you have some protection for now, or you're a union, if you have a strong union, and you'll speak with your union representatives about what the collective bargaining agreement says about how you may be let go, and you may have certain rights that most of us don't have. Most employees at will, so-called, that don't have contracts, that don't have unions, that don't have pensions and work for large governmental employers, are in a precarious position right now. And you know what? Unfortunately, all of the help that we're seeing from the federal new law that provides a couple of weeks of pay for those afflicted by the virus, or caring for a family member with a virus, or have a child who is home because of a school closure. I mean, it's something, but it's a couple of weeks of pay. And in many cases, it's a reduced couple of weeks of pay. And, in New York, some of Governor Cuomo's relief, some of the new relief that the state has made available is not available to those who are forced to stay home right now because they can't come into the workplace in New York City. It doesn't apply if you're healthy and you're just home. That's not an isolation, or that's not a quarantine order. It doesn't really count. So unless your company is paying you to work from home, which is great, and be grateful if they are, companies are now considering, depending on how long this goes, laying off people, okay? And that, as a general rule, if you're not replaced, it doesn't really matter if you say, hey, they're not allowed to do that to me. I'm 58 years old, or I'm pregnant, or I'm a person of color, or I just complained about sexual harassment a week ago. It may provide a little bit of assistance, but not if you're not being replaced, not if they're really eliminating your position. And what, we're talking about, $1,000, $1,200 checks that the government is going to send one time to us? I mean, can they spare it? I mean, we're still talking about bailing out industries, right? I don't care about the airline industry. I care about its workers, but we're talking about spending tens of millions of dollars on companies to bail them out yet again and not provide the support, right? The support that we really should be entitled to get us through this period where we don't have to say, let's all go back to work and pack the churches by Easter, because that's going to make things immeasurably worse in the longer run. So I know this isn't terrific news, but the cavalry's not coming. And we need to figure this out as we go. And all I can tell you as an employee rights lawyer is that discrimination remains illegal. So if you are punished, penalized, fired as a result of an illness, whether it's corona or otherwise, or if you're fired because, even if it's emotional right now because you're in a state of constant dread and panic, and you're terminated because of that reason or because you can't fully work right now and need flexibility from your employer because of any type of disability, physical, psychological, emotional, there's a protection there. That would still be illegal as long as your job isn't being eliminated and everybody else isn't being fired with you. It's also illegal to punish you to fire you or demote you or in any way alter the terms or conditions of your employment if it's as a result of taking a protected leave under the FMLA, under the Americans with Disabilities Act, under the New York State Paid Family Leave Law, under any of these laws that provide you with some protection, typically again for your own or a loved one's disability challenges. That's illegal as well. But this is all happening right now under this cover for companies of bloodbath, going a heck in a handcart, and if a job is eliminated altogether for now, that doesn't leave us much wiggle room to say that your separation was an illegal act by your company. So just be wary of why it's happening. Again, understand that, is it you? Are you being singled out for some reason still related to you, your gender, your pregnancy, your age, your disability, the disability of a loved one? What's going on right now that you could say, you know what, the terms and the conditions or the benefits or the privileges or the pay of my employment is now inferior, different, degraded than others because of this reason that federal, state, city law protects you against. So still be alert to that. You'll want to document these things to your company. Don't give up, right? Don't go quietly to your rest, to use a line from the play and movie Ragtime. Just don't give up and don't quit, because if you quit, forget it. It's game over. You're saving your company the trouble. It's like taking the gun from them and shooting yourself in the head, and then you won't even be able to collect unemployment benefits, which in New York State now are about $500 a week for 26 weeks. I mean, it's something. Eventually, we're going to get to the other side of this. We all need to stick together. If there's any way I can be of help to discuss with you whether or not you have some leverage, a claim, whether or not there's anything that you can use to empower yourself to remain employed or to hold your company accountable if they're making decisions that are illegal or even arguably illegal. We're all looking for a little bit of leverage, help, support. And some of it is just having the information at your fingertips of what your rights are, particularly in this, somewhat dark time. So if you have any questions, again, feel free to sort of hit me up with them here or, call our office. However you want to get in touch with us with your questions or concern, and I will do my very best to connect with you and be of service, if at all possible. Until tomorrow, have a strong, powerful, and healthy evening. Bye.